Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar self-hosted advantages. Thank you very much for joining today. Okay, so first of all, we'll just go through some introductions. So I'm Sam Connor, sales manager here at Interface. And just to give you a background to ourselves, so we are Bitrix24 Gold Partners. We're based here in the UK, the US, and Hong Kong, and we offer a full range of services to assist you with Bitrix24. So starting off with pre-sale support, so we can discuss and learn about your key requirements, and we can fully help you to evaluate Bitrix24 and see if it is a good fit for what you're trying to achieve. And if it is a good fit, we can then help to build out the system for you. So we can design out your Bitrix system so it works exactly how you need it to work. If you're interested in the self-hosted edition, which we're looking at today, then we do provide our own hosting service for the self-hosted edition. And we also provide bespoke training and ongoing support to ensure businesses get the most possible value out of the Bitrix24 system. Okay, so if you have joined today's webinar to actually learn more about Bitrix24 as a whole, if you're starting to evaluate Bitrix, let's just actually discuss what Bitrix24 actually is. So Bitrix24 is essentially a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 40 different tools and modules that you can use to help you to manage your business. There are over 15 million businesses now around the world that use Bitrix24. And the system is available in two different editions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud, and then we also have the Bitrix24 Self Hosted, also referred to as on-premise. Essentially, it's a private cloud edition of Bitrix24. And prices start from $49 per month for a cloud-based system and $3,590 for a self-hosted edition. So that's starting there at the Business 50 edition. And that's the year one cost. And then in year two and ongoing annually, you'll pay a renewal fee to continue to access this self-hosted edition of Bitrix. Okay, so what we'll start to go through now is to look at the different editions of Bitrix24 Self-Hosted. There are several versions that you can utilize. So what we'll do first of all is we'll take a look at the different editions that are available. So first of all, in terms of our editions, we have our Bitrix24 Business Edition. So this is the most popular edition of Bitrix24 Self-Hosted. So this ranges, if I just bring up our slides there, this ranges from the Business 50 edition. So that's the starting edition of our on-premise system. So that's for up to 50 seats on the Bitrix24 system. And it goes up to the Business 500 edition. So you can easily scale using the Business edition of Bitrix24. And that includes all of the functionality and features that you have available on the Cloud edition of Bitrix. You have all of that same functionality, and we're going to discuss about the additional benefits and customization capability that you have with a self-hosted edition. And so that also includes additional features such as help desk and an e-learning module that you don't have access to on the Cloud edition. And then the other edition we have of the self-hosted is the Enterprise edition. And the Enterprise edition, this is our most advanced product. And essentially, it allows a company to establish an unlimited number of intranets, which can all be managed by a single global administrator. So, for example, a company who operates in multiple countries, they may want to have individual sites with different languages for each office in each country. We can set that up with the Enterprise Edition, manage all of that from a global single administrator panel. So it's easy to set and control the user interface across all of those intranets. So that is the Enterprise Edition, and that is the Enterprise 1000. So that's 1,000 seats on the Enterprise Edition, and you can always upgrade to the next tier as as you're scaling as a business. You can move up to the next tier edition of your self-hosted system. Okay, so what we'll do now is let's talk about some of the benefits of a self-hosted edition of Bitrix24, because there are a lot of them. So first of all, what I would say is one of the main excuse me, one of the main benefits of the self-hosted solution is the customization capability of the system. So the self-hosted solution is essentially a full content management system which can be customized extensively. So first of all, there we have our branding. So with the self-hosted system, you can rebrand the login page. So if we just go into our Bitrix system here, you can see here, I've got a self-hosted system here that I'm about to log into. You can see there it's fully branded up with the corporate identity of the system. So you can remove the Bitrix branding and you can have your own domain here. So essentially this looks like your own designed corporate piece of software. Okay, so that's a really popular feature and reason why businesses prefer the self-hosted system, the ability to have your own theme on the platform. You also have the control panel. So the control panel is the area for essentially for administrators. So you wouldn't have end users accessing the control panel. But this area allows administrators to make changes to modules, and modules can be configured in very advanced ways within that control panel. So if you are currently using a Bitrix Cloud solution, then I think you'll be extremely impressed with the additional functionality that's available within that control panel. And what we'll do later on in today's webinar, we'll take a look at some of that functionality inside the control panel. There is also access to the source code. So this means if maybe the customization you want, it can't be configured within that control panel, it is usually possible to do this directly in the code. And Bitrix, essentially, it's built on its own framework in PHP. So changing the source code really should only be attempted if you have experience of PHP, as well as a very good knowledge of the Bitrix24 platform itself. So alternatively, we have a lot of businesses who are looking to customize to that level using the code. They'll come to interface where we can build that customization, ensure it runs correctly with updates to the system, and you've got that really customized edition of Bitrix24. So if you are looking to customize your system, you can contact us, sales@interface.com, and one of our team will be happy to discuss your customization requirements in detail. Okay, so let's look at the source code. And next feature that's very popular within the self-hosted is the scalability of integrations. Okay, so you have access to the full API with the self-hosted solution, allowing you to integrate with thousands of other web applications, and you can control that integration. You can control the processing rate, if that's going to be a one or a two-way integration, and we can build that integration for you and ensure it works exactly how you need it to work. And then in terms of benefits, finally, the self-hosted solution has a number of extra features that aren't found on the cloud products, such as the help desk system, e-learning, and analytics. So that is a high-level look there at some of the benefits of the self-hosted solution. And we do have a lot of businesses that are looking for specific integrations or customizations and use the self-hosted edition for that specific reason. And what we'll look at shortly when we go into look at the ability to brand and customize a system, you have the capability to configure the left-hand menu. So you can configure the menu structure for different user roles. And that can be absolutely critical to get buy-in from your staff utilizing the platform. So with the self-hosted system, you have the ability to customize the UI of your menus. That then allows staff to easily navigate the system, start using the system for their way of working, and you'll then start to get the return on your investment. So again, another benefit of the self-hosted edition. And then let's drill down actually and take a look at some of that customization capability in more detail. So one of the main reasons for choosing a self-hosted option, it is this ability that we've been discussing to customize the system to the level that the organization requires. So customization in terms of the look and the feel of the system, but also customization of the actual functionality of their Bitrix24 platform. So with a self-hosted system, the site can be customized, first of all, to match your corporate look. So as we've seen there with the login page, we can completely customize that, remove the Bitrix branding, so it looks really slick into your corporate identity. And then what we can do is we can also configure the functionality to make using the system a lot more intuitive for your staff. So in terms of that customization, we can customize the styling. So many areas can be branded, and we'll take a look shortly at what that branding looks like within the Bitrix system as well. You can make editing within many areas of the self-hosted system. So any page can be edited, and administrators, they can create custom pages using the page editor wizard. Then we also have navigation, which I've just briefly talked about, but I would say this is one of the most fundamental benefits of the self-hosted system in terms of that customization capability. You can improve the user experience and save time having to navigate through different modules. So the links in that navigation panel are fully editable, and it's actually possible to display different navigation items to different sets of users. So when we're setting up Bitrix for businesses who are using a self-hosted system, we set up, so for the sales team, they only have access to the CRM system. For the projects team, they see tasks and projects. So we customize the actual menu for different teams and departments, so they only see what they need to have access to. We also have dashboards, so it's possible to create custom dashboards to display different sets of data on the page. So for example, sales or project dashboards. And within the customer portal, so just to explain, with the cloud system, you have access to the extranet for clients to be invited into the system to manage work groups and projects. But in terms of the self-hosted system, I would say this is another very big use of the self-hosted system, where we rebrand the portal where the client logs into, and we can then customize the actual UI and the functionality inside that external portal for the client. So we'll take a look shortly at what an external portal can look like. You are completely restricted on the cloud edition of Bitrix to changing that branding and the UI, whereas a self-hosted, essentially you can almost design out your own customer portal for your clients. And then finally, all modules are customizable, and it is possible to create your own bespoke modules to perform tasks specifically to your business requirements. Okay, so what we'll take a look at now is let's go into some of that customization capability in more detail. So as we've seen here, we've got a branded login page for the Bitrix24 system. And then when we log into the platform, as we mentioned here, we can customize here the left-hand menu for specific user roles. So as I've mentioned, the sales team, they might just see the CRM, for example, and then our project team just sees tasks and projects. We can completely customize UI, keep it simplified for users, because when they're coming to a new system, they don't want to be seeing 40 different modules in the system. They're going to find it very difficult to navigate through the platform. A massive benefit of the self-hosted, being able to customize that menu structure. And then we've got here, I'm an administrator on this edition of Bitrix24 Self Hosted, so I can see here the control panel. So this is where your administration team would be able to manage all of the settings and configurations across their Bitrix platform. So this really is the back end of the Bitrix24 system. But as I mentioned here, with the control panel, I can turn on the edit mode. And then from here, I can start to customize the menu items. So I can start to reconfigure the structure and the terminology for our menus. So you simply don't have this capability on the cloud edition of Bitrix. With this self-hosted, I can change menu titles. I can change the structure and the layouts here. I can start to edit pages using the page editor tool. So this will open up the editor where we can access the code and start to make configurations to the UI of the system. So you can see you've got greater control and flexibility to modify the self-hosted system to your specific organization's requirements. So this starts to show the capabilities you have with the self-hosted edition of Bitrix24. And let's take a look at actually how we can customize the system then to a greater level. So if we come out of here and we'll take off the edit mode for now, as we mentioned earlier on, within the Bitrix system, you have the capability to edit essentially any pages inside the Bitrix system. So for example, here we've got in our company module, we've got a sitemap. So we're referencing all of the different areas of the system for people to navigate. But what a very popular feature of the self-hosted system where people create their own pages is where they have their own policies page inside the application where they can store policy information for their staff to have access to. So let's now take a look at how we can go into the control panel and create our own policies page to be stored here inside the company module. Okay, so first of all, we'll go into the control panel, and then we're going to go into our content area. And this was in the About section of the company. So here we have all of the pages for our company. And what we want to do here is we're going to add a new file. So this here is essentially the page that we're creating for users to be able to access. So first of all, we'll give this page a title. So let's call that Policies 2024. Okay, so we can start to add some information into here, and you can completely customize the styling here of this. You can upload videos and links into here, or if you just want to have text, that's absolutely fine. So you've got all of that information stored inside the page here. So let's now save that page. So that's the starting creating of the page. Then what we also need to have is a tab within the module so people can easily click and open up that page. So if we go into the menu editor, we can see right now we just have that sitemap that we saw earlier on. So let's now add our second tab. Okay, so now we're adding that information here into the menu section. So we have that tab saved for users to be able to navigate through. So now if we go back into our company module, we can now see that Policies 2024 tab, it displays, so users can now navigate very seamlessly through the company module. And we can then see we've just made reference here, so all the policy details here will be available tomorrow once this page has finished its setup. So you can see how easy that is to start creating your own pages and content directly inside the Bitrix24 platform. And what's really nice with that capability is if we go back into our menu structure here, but what we'll go into here is the advanced mode. So for each of those different tabs that we have inside the company page, what we can do is we can put conditions on this. So we might say, for example, only the users of, say, maybe the HR group are able to access that page, but the policies 2024 page. So you can set controls and permissions to control what users are able to access the content across these different pages that we set up. So you start to see the complete advanced customization capabilities that you have when you're comparing the self-hosted edition to the cloud edition of Bitrix24 here. So that's how we can create those pages. And we mentioned as well about that customization capability and the benefit of that if you are to use the extranet site. So here we can see an extranet site that we have on our self-hosted system. So that's been branded up with a branded login page for users to be able to log into the portal. So it's removed all the Bitrix24 branding. And then we have some widgets here on the right-hand side to easily link the clients to specific pages. And they can then access specific information inside the platform here. So using the UI, we've set up the navigation tabs very easily. We've customized what information that they're able to access. And then using the source code, you could then customize what functionality that they're able to access through the extranet site. So we've set up, especially for accountancy businesses where you're needing to get lots of documentation, we've customized several self-hosted editions for accountancy firms where their clients, they log into a branded portal, they upload their documentation, and that then feeds into the internal teams inside the internal side of Bitrix24. So it's a really powerful area to be able to connect with your customers in a really professional looking portal system. So again, if that's something you're thinking about using Bitrix for, or if you've thought about it in the past, even if you are on a cloud system, please do contact us and we can discuss what we've done for customers in the past and how we can help you to really scale your functionality and the capability of your Bitrix24 system. And one last thing to mention with the extranet, of course, with the self-hosted, you have your own domain there with the URL. Okay, so we've had some questions come in here. First question is, can I change the templates for my Bitrix system? I'm assuming if you're talking about templates, if you're referring to the theme here in the background, so that can be customized, absolutely. That's not a self-hosted system specific functionality. So really anyone on the system, they can control the theme, I think is what you're referring to here. So you can customize that theme for your Bitrix24 system. But if you're wanting to have the branded login page, we're talking about when you're logging into the Bitrix system, then you have to have a self-hosted edition to be able to rebrand the platform. Okay, so, and another question here. We're a business with 59 users. Which version of the self-hosted would we require? So yeah, it's a good question. So if all 59 people need to be on the Bitrix24 platform, then you're going to require a business 100 version of the self-hosted system. So as I mentioned earlier on, there are different versions starting with the business 50. Then if you have more than 50 staff, then you would need a business 100. And that goes up then to 250, 500, and then we go up and roll up to the enterprise 1000 edition. So it's easy to scale, and all you would have to do is upgrade to the next tier when you are ready to utilize that next tier of the Bitrix24 system. Okay, so that is a look there at some of the questions. If there are any other questions, please do add them into the question box. We're live here on YouTube and we can discuss those in detail for you today. Okay, so then we've had a look at some of the benefits of the customization and the scalability of our Bitrix24 self-hosted system. Now let's take a look at some of the additional features that are available in the self-hosted. So all of the features that we've got on the standard and professional cloud solution, they are available inside the self-hosted. There are new updates coming to the self-hosted, which will then add that functionality, such as the BI Builder tool. So on the next updates, that will be coming to the self-hosted system. But there are additional modules available only for the self-hosted system. So first of all, we have the help desk system. So the help desk is a tool to allow you to manage customer support inquiries. So customers can log their inquiries on a portal, and then help desk staff can process the tickets accordingly to predefined rules. So if we go into our Bitrix system and we can come into our extranet site here, this is the support area as a customer. So inside here, I can see all of my current tickets, and then I can create a new ticket in the application like so. So I can fill in this form, and that will then create a new ticket inside the system for me. Another way a ticket can be created is using the support wizard tool. So you can, using the support wizard, you can essentially channel the client to answer specific questions before they're able to submit their ticket into the system. And then the third way a ticket can be created is via a mailbox rule. So you can connect mailboxes into the Bitrix24 system. So if we come into our Bitrix platform, and here we can connect mailboxes into the application here. And when we connect those mailboxes, we can then put rules in place. So inside here, you can create rules. So for example, as soon as an email comes into this mailbox, I can have it create a tech support ticket inside the help desk module. So inside the help desk here, I can click into our tickets. And here we're going to see all of the tickets then that the support team are currently working on. So here we can see one where a login, someone has forgot their login. So we can see all of the history on this ticket. You can see where the clients responded, where the support staff have then updated the ticket. And you can also, if we're in the answer mode here, then we can have FAQ answers to easily respond to the customer. And you can set up SLAs, so priority levels with categories for that support level. So when that ticket needs to be completed by. And all of that information would then roll back into the customer's record here. So we can click into a ticket, and you can then see, this is from the customer side, all of the history associated with that ticket. So all of that correspondence that has taken place. So that's the first look here at the support system for our Bitrix platform. So that's an additional help desk module available in the self-hosted edition. The next feature is our ability to create our own courses inside Bitrix24. So you have an e-learning module. So with the e-learning module, what this allows you to do is it allows you to create your own courses inside the Bitrix system to then essentially test your staff. Okay, so this is essentially a tool for training your employees. So courses can be created, and then staff members can set tests to demonstrate their knowledge in that particular subject area. And it is also possible to configure a user's profile page to show complete tests as badges. So here we've got, for example, a health and safety course. So at the front end here, as the end user, I can see this course. So here there is a video that I need to watch. And then I can go through here to read the information that needs to be reviewed. And then once I've gone through all that information, I can then complete a test to confirm my knowledge. Okay, so then we've completed, so I can then review my results. And then we can see here my results, and you can set minimum score thresholds before they're allowed to have been approved as the test has passed. So you want to set that minimum level you can do before the test can be confirmed as passed. And that can then roll up into the user's profile with a badge once they have passed. And as we've looked at earlier today, we have access to the source code. So it is also possible to create custom modules inside the Bitrix24 system. And we do a lot of custom dashboard reporting for businesses where they want to pull specific information into their own modules inside Bitrix. And so that's some of the additional functionality that we have available in the self-hosted edition of Bitrix. And as we've just briefly looked at there in terms of integrations, so we can actually perform additional integration capabilities with the self-hosted system. So for example, from the mailbox connecting into Bitrix, if you then wanted to actually generate a task into a work group, we have that capability. We can put rules in place on the mailbox to have it create a help desk ticket inside the system. So you've got greater control on increasing and advanced integrations. And you also have the API. So Bitrix includes an API for integrations with other services. So we can scope out your specific integration requirements and then build the integration and have it controlled. Most importantly, you can control the speed and the really confirming exactly the functionality of the integration from it being a one-way to a two-way, and the processing speed of that integration. You have that greater control with the self-hosted edition. Okay, so then moving on to look at the hosting options. So of course, this is the self-hosted edition of Bitrix, so it does require hosting. Now, there are different options. So you have a choice to either host in-house or you can use a partner's hosting service. So if we talk about, first of all, self-hosting, so you as the business hosting this, we can provide a virtual appliance. So this is a free application that allows Bitrix to be run in a pre-configured and fully secured virtual environment. And this saves time on product installation and maintenance, and also it improves the overall system performance. Then alternatively, as another option, Bitrix can be hosted and managed by interface. So this is what we class as a dedicated cloud solution. And the benefits of our hosting are, first of all, server performance. It's all managed by ourselves, so you don't need to worry if you don't have an IT team. We manage that server performance for you, and we'll make sure it's optimized for speed. So as you scale, as more information is added to your Bitrix, you increase the number of users, we will make sure it's optimized for speed. We'll also make sure it's fully secure and backed up with your backup retention policy. And this allows you, this option allows you to scale without investing in further hardware. We can add specification improvements to the server infrastructure and allowing you to scale without you having to purchase server infrastructure. So essentially, partners are specialists in managing servers, and partners hosting saves you time and provides peace of mind. In terms of that hosting cost, so if we're looking, say, 100 gig for 12 months, you're looking at around $2,950 for that. And that can also be scaled, of course. Okay, and that brings us on nicely to look at the different pricing points for a self-hosted build out. So first of all, we have the cost for the Bitrix24 license. So as I say, that starts on the Business 50 edition, priced at $3,590. And then in year 2 and ongoing annually, you will pay a renewal fee to continue to access the system. There's also the hosting cost. So as I mentioned there, 100 gig of hosting is $2,950. And it's really important to budget for customizations and integrations. So as you start to be flexible with your Bitrix system and want to incorporate additional functionality, that will need to be budgeted for. And there's also training and ongoing dedicated support. This is the most advanced edition of Bitrix24, and we would not recommend anyone proceed with a rollout of this system without having that training and dedicated support service that interface provides for you, because that will help you get the biggest return on your investment of using this edition of Bitrix24. Okay, so in summary today, we've seen really most importantly how customizable the Bitrix24 system is. It's in the most advanced edition of Bitrix with access to the source code, so we can completely customize the system. You have advanced integration capabilities, as we saw with the mailbox rules inside the control panel, and there is also additional functionality and features available in the system. And also, something we've not discussed today, but obviously with the self-hosted system, you have complete control over the location of where this system is hosted. And that's very important for some organizations who are security conscious. Okay, so that is the end of today's Bitrix24 Self-Hosted Advantages webinar. Thank you very much for your time today. I just want to briefly mention here about our upcoming webinars. So we are here every other Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can register at interface.com/webinars to join us for our upcoming webinars, as you can see on the screen here. If you have any questions or you want to discuss any requirements about Bitrix before our next webinar, you can contact us, sales@interface.com, and one of our team will be happy to set up a meeting with you to see how we can assist you further. Okay, thank you very much for your time today. I look forward to seeing you all on our next webinar. Bye for now.